No way. Shake it like this. Oh my gosh, no way, another one. Ooh, no way. He's got it, he's got it. Good morning.
Private property, I'd like you to leave. Last year I let somebody do it and then they just kept coming.
All right, well, there's our first kickoff. Well, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to 200 Ponds. Every single Saturday here on this channel, I fish a different pond until we reach 200. And my overarching purpose with this series is that you guys would actually learn something to help you become a better bass angler, no matter what pond or lake you bank fish from. Now, the pond I am fishing today has a lot of things going for me, but also some things going against. So for me, it's got a lot of water to fish. I've got bridges, I've got flat banks, I've got steeper banks, but a few of these places are actually private property. And so with it being a Monday, I don't expect anybody to really care, especially because I'm right next to the path, but it is totally possible somebody kicks me out. If that happens and I am asked to leave, of course, I'm gonna be respectful and leave, as there are other places to fish on this pond, but I just really hope with the crazy weather conditions, bad cold front, it is blowing like 20 to 30 miles an hour today, and I highly doubt the pants that I wore today are thick enough for the conditions, but you know what? We're gonna give it a dang shot. And I'm gonna open up Bass Forecast just to show you that the bass should be in a very lethargic mood today. Yep, a 3.9 rating today. Bass pattern is spawn. It says high winds make bass aggressive, but a very unfavorable water temperature trend. They're northern strain bass, so maybe they don't care as much, but it still probably is gonna be tough. The lures that it recommends are jig, shaky head, craw, soft jerkbait, and wacky rig, but I throw a wacky rig a lot. I'm probably gonna stick to a vibrating jig and a normal jig, with slow being the best presentation speed, and then let's check the locations. Flats near spawning areas, could have guessed. Migration routes, and secondary points. I don't know how many of those we actually have access to. We're just gonna have to fish whatever we get. I think a lot of you guys out there fish ponds like this where some parts are private, some parts are public, and you kind of have to make do and fish whatever you can. So that's the goal for today. And tomorrow's rating is a little better, and then the cold front finally takes effect Wednesday and Thursday. Oh, 2.2, yuck. And that is the Bass Forecast app. I'm a co-owner in the company, and it helps me understand more about how the weather affects my bodies of water. If you want to download it, I'll have it linked below, but it's told me the weather should make the fishing tough. We'll see about that. Let's get down to pond number 125. So as I walk down to pond number 125, the conditions, like I mentioned, are crazy cold front. It's like 42 degrees right now. My hands are cold. Honestly, didn't even wear thick enough pants for today's expedition. And you don't hear it right now, but it is crazy, crazy windy, which makes me think vibrating jig's the way to go, especially with these fish being barely post-spawn. First cast, let's see how deep it is out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, wow, 5, 6, 7, that's crazy. It's like 6.5, 7 feet out there. And just like many ponds, there's a rise from that depth to about 2 foot of water, 40 feet off the bank. I caught some aquatic vegetation. Looks to me like standard leafy pond weed. One of my least favorite types of grasses. Yeah, it rises from like 6 feet out there to 2 foot in a pretty short period of time. So there's gonna be a lot of clearing of my vibrating jig around the same depth zone. But dang, one thing I see right here is a bunch of empty finished bluegill beds, which is honestly kind of crazy. I figure the bluegill will still be going hard in here, but maybe everything's post-spawn in this pond. Normally these bluegill beds are teeming with bluegill every 12 inches, but they are totally empty. Now again, because I'm weaving in and out of people's pontoon boat areas, I don't really have a whole lot of casting angle choices. Basically just gonna be a lot of casting out into the middle and hoping I run into one off the drop. But seeing how all the bluegill, at least in this corner, were post-spawn, doesn't make me feel like there's gonna be a whole lot of fish ultra shallow today. But even though my body's cold, I am committed to you guys to catch a dang bass out of this pond system. Oh, uh-oh, I don't think that guy made it. That's a nice one though, that's a 3-pounder. So there are bass in here, how about that? Dead ones. Oh my gosh, I'm literally just now seeing that he died with a wacky worm on the top of his face. Look at that, a dang Senko on the roof of his mouth. Little circle hook, poor guy. Now I'm not exactly sure how that kills him, but he died doing what he loved, eating. Now I don't feel like with the cloud cover, the bass are gonna use docks all that much, but I do gotta give every one of them, if it's got some good depth under it, a few skips. It's really the only reason why I brought the jig in the first place. This dock doesn't have any depth on it at all. Man, I don't think many of these docks do. It's like there's good depth out there, but then, man, most of the casting length you have here is like a foot of water. And a 1 to 2 foot grass flat is fine to fish around if the weather's been warm, but not the way it's been around here. I think I need to find the steepest bank I possibly can, which is probably at some of the bridges that I can park near and fish. Ooh, something just spooked out of shallow water. What was that? Looked kind of bassy. Ooh, no way. He's got it, he's got it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No! Darn it. He was running at me the entire time. That was cool though. Saw the swirl, made a few casts to the area, and was about to give up on it. But my last roll cast in there after a few hops, I saw the weight come, and he smoked it, but did not get a good hook set into him. Good morning.
Private property, I'd like you to leave.
Oh, yes, sir.
It's all private property all along here. You can go up by the beach.
Okay, yes, sir.
Yeah.
I got you. I figure on a Monday, nobody really have any cares today.
Last year I let somebody do it, and then they just kept coming.
Gotcha. Well, I'm from Texas, so I'm not going to come back.
Okay.
So, thanks. All right, well, there's our first kickoff. As I mentioned, this is private property, but it's along a walking trail, and it's a Monday, and it's cold. I'm a respectful kid, figured that people wouldn't have a problem, but of course, Mr. HOA says I got to get out of here. I think I'm good to go coming down here, though, all the way on the end of the docks. At least that guy can't see me from there. Well, maybe they want something a little more finesse today, which to me wouldn't make sense. I figure it'd be a reaction bait type of day. I almost wonder if that fish was a fry garter, which is why it was so aggressive, but only bit once. Because if y'all have watched the channel recently, you've heard me talk about how fry garters really only give you about one chance to catch them before they wisen up. So that's possibly what that was, or just a aggressive shallow one, which in that case, I hope there's more around here. Into the woods we go. And I really wish there was some kind of differentiation in the contours, but not a whole lot in this lake. I mean, it was obviously man-made, so they could have put whatever they wanted in it, but they probably just made it a big bowl. Let's make one really parallel cast, super shallow. Then one cast a little less parallel, and then one basically out toward the middle. And then a few more out toward the middle, maybe back towards where I came from. Whew. All right, on we go. Ta-da, we're at the beach. Now, something I've noticed about my prototype jig that I've been testing in front of y'all on camera is that my hookup ratio has been okay, but the landing ratio has not been great. So I'm gonna try by cutting down the weed guard just a little bit, and then also just like getting rid of 8 or 9 of the strands, because I want to test out if that's the issue first before changing the hook. Because I will never release a product for you guys to purchase that I don't have my stamp of approval on. And so far, one version of the jig is great, but the other one still needs some work. And actually, the beach does not look all that bad. I figure with this being like the most public section of this neighborhood, the beach would go way out into the water and there'd be nothing to fish, but it looks like it actually drops off a lot quicker than it did on the residential side. Yeah, I've got good vibes about this. Come on, man. I'm gonna be shocked if I work the entire beach here with a whole grass line along it and get no bites on the jig. That would shock me. Although, you know what I'm thinking? Maybe a suspending jerkbait, honestly. Yeah, let me do a whole lap around this beach with the vibrating jig. And if I don't get a bite, I may tie on the old jerk plug, because I feel like the conditions call for it. Gosh, it's cold. Huh! It is so cold, which I'm sure to my entire southern audience is a mystery to you. Like, Tyler, how could it be cold when you're putting this video out? Well, I came to Minnesota at the wrong time. It looks like the bank slopes off from the beach right at the end of it, which would make sense. Now that I'm looking at the water and seeing the difference in color from sand to deeper water, it actually probably is a little bit shallower on the beach than I thought it was. But this little drop off looks delicious. Come on, baby. Oh, whoa, where's the wind? Gosh, they don't want the vibe jig. Let's get my jig and my backpack. What's going on? Tyler. That's me. Y'all catching them?
Yeah, we got a couple of these. So I got broke off in a small pond down there on something big.
I gotcha. I'll see you later on this summer.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
Let me know
yes, sir.
if you want to...
See you, boys. All right, reunited with an old friend. That's always fun. But I'm just going to give this corner a few hops with the jig. No way. No way. Yes, sir. Come on. First fish. Let's go, baby. Get in here. Oh, no. He got off again. All right, little guy. That's a success at pond number 125. But I'm not going to lie. I'm not super happy with the landing ratio on this hook. So I'm going to keep fishing it. Again, Research and development's an important phase. I'm super pleased with the amount of bites it gets and the fact that I can hook them and get them to me, but as soon as they start flopping around, it seems to get off. So I don't know if I need a larger hook on this. I don't know if I need a smaller weed guard or if I need a thinner gauge wire. But that is a success, baby! A little beautiful northern strain 1-pounder hanging off the drop-off as the wind blows over the beach. Honestly, kind of a perfect little area for a fish because it's got shallow water here and then it drops to deep. It's almost like I'm ledge fishing with the top of the ledge here and the bottom here and the current flowing over it. Oh, but that feels good. That means I can make a video out of today. Because there is nothing worse as a fishing YouTuber than going out there and driving somewhere, getting all my gear on, filming an intro, filming a drone shot, having a game plan, and then not catching anything. Yuck. I am glad I got one. Now you may see the way that I'm retrieving my jig and wondering why I'm hopping it so much. Well, I learned that from fishing up here in Minnesota where you have a whole lot of grass down there on the bottom. And a jig, as compared to a Texas rig, just tends to get a lot more grass on the nose of it if you do a slow drag or a slow hop. And so if you kind of shake it like this, oh my gosh, no way, another one, gosh, yes sir. Get in here. Whoa, that's a chunkier bass. The hook got that one just fine. Okay, that's almost like a 2-pounder. Look at how thick that fish is. Man, I want to weigh this thing because I feel like she's pushing 2 pounds for being 14 inches. Oh my goodness, 2.20. You gotta love northern strains for just being so chunky and beautiful. But as I was saying about the retrieve, I like to give it some hops like this. Hop, 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 where you keep your left hand on the reel or your whatever hand holds the reel on that one and your other hand on the handle, and you're using both to hop the jig. Hop, 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 hop. Doing this not only helps to keep the nose free from more grass, it also looks like a bluegill that's kind of using its nose to dig around the bottom to find bugs and stuff. And I found this retrieve works really good in basically all ponds and lakes when you have grass and you're flipping a jig around. I'm sure there are times when that kind of a retrieve is a little bit too much for the fish, but I really haven't found that to be the case in most scenarios. And man, if we got cold front conditions and the bass are still eating it when I'm hopping it like this, you can probably do this retrieve pretty much everywhere. Now, if it's a flat bottom, you know, clay, rock bottom, I'm not gonna hop it like this usually. I'm gonna give it a kind of a hoppy drag. But I think we may have figured a little something out. Could be totally location dependent. So again, this is a very good location with the wind direction and the fact that it slopes off there and has some good grass, kind of lots of things going for me at once. So I'm gonna keep trying to find as much stuff like that as possible, but I'm kind of running out of area to walk. Now, because this jig is not for sale yet, I can't link it down in the video description, but I will link the one that Outcast Tackle makes that is most similar to this one, and that is either the Stealth Fighter if you want a tungsten version or the Juice jig, but the one I'm designing is kind of a mix between those two. Good for ponds, good for lakes, good for small fish and big fish. But as of now, it's still in testing, as y'all can see. So I'll link the ones that I would have been using in lieu of this down below. All right, now I can't let my recent success on the jig derail me from the plans I had made, which is to tie on old Suspendo. So let's snap the vibrating jig off, put that bad boy away. I think I'm gonna go with this color right here, KVD Elite, in some kind of matte shad with a chartreuse bottom. And it's totally possible this does not work at all, but I'm just trying to be better this year about trying new things and not just being stuck with the same lures I rigged up in the truck. About halfway through the cast, I have to go from a bottom twitching retrieve to kind of a sideways to then an up to make sure my jerkbait stays out of the grass, which is really tough to do when you don't know where the grass starts. Oh man, I got line. This place really is pressured. What kind of lure do we got? Looks like no lure, just line. I will take that with me when I leave. I've always wanted to hook line and bring it in and be like, what lure do I got? And it's on like a 5-pound bass. Comment below if that's ever happened to you. I did that for the first time this winter, but it was a carp on the end of the line that I pulled up, not a bass. So I got halfway there. Okay, too much grass, not enough bass. Can't forget the line. Well, I think the beach has given me all it can. I'm gonna walk down the path, see if I can access the bridge from this path. It looks like people have made a path through this area. Yeah, might as well give this area a few casts with the jig since that seems to be working for me. Although I'm not feeling any grass right here. And if I look down, I mean, y'all can see that it's just kind of like mud and sticks. Well, not a single bite here. Honestly, didn't even feel any grass either. So this bank's just not as good. Wow, but look at this. We got a whole dock and it says no swimming or diving. Good thing I have no plans of doing either one of those. And I highly doubt there's a bass under the dock this time of the day. Yeah, thought so. Oh, there's a bass. I spooked him. We've got some good depth and some nice grass off this dock here. Now, I bet my friend Mo, who I just met with a second ago, probably already fished this dock today because that's the direction they were coming from. But maybe he left one for me. Well, not the best. There's just gotta be more good grass with bass sitting on them somewhere. Let's check out the bridge though. Looks kind of juicy. I like all the current coming through here. Let's go suspendo first. Hopefully I don't slip. I just feel like this has gotta be a high enough percentage place. Deep water mixed with current from the wind. Come on now. Nothing. Son of a biscuit. I probably need a swim bait on this rod, some kind of flashy swimmer, considering how clear the water is. Let's go jig. Well, color me shocked that I got no bites there. And I guess the decision I have now is, do I keep working, on a whole brand new section of this, or do I go back to the truck and drive somewhere else? Although I guess I don't even know where I'd drive to, because it would only be to other bridges, and I don't think that's gonna be the deal today. I really wanna find one on a bed. I just don't know if there are gonna be any. Gosh, it's so windy. Yeah, you know what? I am gonna tie a swim bait on. That'd probably be a good use of my time covering all this shallow, dirty, grassy stuff. And you know what I say, baby? I say go big or go home. I am not interested in your 1-pounders. And I'm gonna leave my jig and my tackle bag right here because I'm just gonna be covering the bank the last few minutes here. Just hoping I can get this thing in front of the face of a 3-pounder. Well, you know what, folks? No more bass were caught, but I am proud of my effort today because it was so cold and so windy, and I even got asked to leave by the neighborhood Ken. But none of that could stop me from trying to catch a few bass for you guys on camera, and I am proud that we did that today. The conditions were not easy. I really wish that I was here a week ago when they had crazy warm conditions, because I bet the bass were up shallow, spawning, pre-spawn, post-spawn, all that kind of stuff. But this weather's really put a damper on things. So I hope you guys still enjoyed this video. As always, the tackle I used is linked down in the video description, and my tackle bag as well with code TRF2025 to save yourself 20% on your entire tackle bag order. I'm gonna go grab myself a nice hot coffee and some lunch and get ourselves inside because I'm pretty dang cold, but hopefully you enjoyed this episode. This will probably be the last episode up here in the north, so thank the Lord for no more cold fronts, but I guess I'm replacing it with sweating all day. But if you like the series, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you want to watch my last episode in the 200 pond series, whammy, it'll be clickable up here in this corner. My name's Tyler. As always, it's a pleasure, and we'll see y'all next time right here on TRF.